The future is the present, ladies and gentlemen. It is finally here, and it looks like this.
How's it going? Welcome to the future, folks. This is what we're all going to be riding sooner than you might think. Just thought I'd show you the sights of London. We've done a little bit of Hyde Park. We're heading towards South Ken. All the culture, all the museums. It's the wrong road. We'll stick it in dynamic. Dynamic means that it's got a decent amount of energy recuperation from the brakes and the engine braking, and it's also got the beans. Oh my god. Yeah, it's got some beans. V&A, everybody. The V&A on your left. Yeah, road's the fast one. Yep. Road's your speed setting. That sets off rapidly. But what's really nice, and you should expect this, is that it's an electric motor. It is so smooth. It's like someone's got a magnet and they're just drawing you along at speed. Hey guys. I like the perfect metaphor of new next to old. Old school London transport and new school London transport right next door to each other. It's quite cute. Welcome to the Mall. It's partially closed. Queen drives up and down here. She does, I've seen her. Range Rover, gas guzzling, doesn't give a shit. 10 Downing Street. It's not very exciting to look at, I have to say, unless you're invited there and you can actually get past that gate, otherwise it's fairly dull. And on our left, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Houses of Parliament. See, Elizabeth Tower, doesn't it look pretty? Ooh! Shittest sightseeing tour ever. They're doing a lot of work on the stuff. You can sort of see it, sort of. Coming through, future coming through. Future coming through. Here comes the future. Pardon me.
Now, I'm not going to go too spec heavy on this kind of review because I don't think that's why anyone is looking to buy this bike. It would also be somewhat unfair to compare it to any of its rivals because it doesn't really have any. It is new, it is unique, and that makes it intriguing to me, and that's really why I decided to take it for a test ride anyway.
Right, wallet, phone and everything else. Oh, that was a mistake. You're a little cockeyed and you're going to twist around a lot, but hey.
Probably a good place to start would be to break down some of the information around the engine and the battery, or at least what you could consider the fuel. So we have an electric scooter which runs off a lithium-ion battery. That is typical of any electric vehicle. In fact, just to prove that, it shares the same battery pack as you find in the BMW i3, their car version of an electric vehicle. It's just slightly smaller. I believe they get a third of the battery power. So the battery is quite sizable, it is quite weighty as well, but it's placed quite low in the scooter itself, encased in an aluminium shell. The fact that it is really low means that obviously the weight to this vehicle is quite low as well, which means it's super duper stable, which is exactly what you want when you're cruising around town.
Very stable, but with 15-inch wheels, really, really agile as well. Oh, my calf's getting worked out though. It's quite tall, reasonably. It didn't seem it. 765mm for seat height, allegedly, isn't too bad, but I'm not sure I believe them because it's a little bit taller than that. I'm tiptoeing. The other thing is, obviously, it's got a big fat seat, which is nice and comfy, and it's typical of scooters, but it does mean that my left calf is cramping a little bit because I have to keep putting it down. Oh, come on, fella, you got 5 seconds. 5 seconds, otherwise I am shooting through you.
The motor itself develops 48 brake horsepower and 53 foot-pounds of torque. Unsurprising, it is an electric motor, and electric motors tend to be very heavy on torque, and they tend to make it very rapidly. Just to prove that, it goes 0 to 30 in 2.8 seconds, which means that it will beat any Addison Lee or Uber driver from a standing start. Again, in a city, that's quite useful.
No other manufacturer decides to measure their bike 0 to 30. 0 to 30 is a weird mark to do, unless you're gunning for traffic lights, and that is pretty much, obviously they know with the city, what you're going to be doing most of the time.
It then continues through to an electronically limited 75 miles an hour. Anything more than 75 miles an hour and it would drain its battery really quite rapidly. Almost as rapidly as it goes from 0 to 30.
We're on 58%. I've been riding this thing for, I'm going to say, half an hour to 45 minutes. And we're still on 58% with 53-mile range, apparently.
Then we come to a very important point, and I know this because every single person I've spoken to about this vehicle and every other electric vehicle I've tried has had one question on the tip of their tongue. What is the range? Funnily enough, not that great. It's about 160 kilometers, which makes about 100 miles.
I don't know where I am. Well, I do, roughly, but I don't know where the roads are taking me. I could sort of squeeze through a gap, I can squeeze through a gap, but whether or not that's a benefit is up for debate. It's a little bit wide and a little bit long. What have I tried then? Dynamic, Eco Pro, Road, Sail. I've done them all. Now to help you out with regeneration and with your power consumption, they actually have 4 rider modes. They have, let me remember these in order. Eco mode. Eco mode actually is still quite pleasing, it's still got enough punch to beat most things from a standing start. Dynamic mode. Now dynamic mode actually has quite a lot of engine braking and energy recuperation, but you get all of your power as well. It's the one you'll probably use the most. And road gives you less energy recuperation and still all of the power. Oh, gee. That's enjoyable.
Then we come to sail, and actually sail is quite useful if you live in a particularly hilly area, because if you're going down a hill, what they say is that of course you could rely upon the deceleration recharging the battery, but that will never be more efficient than simply using gravity. So it's kind of like coasting.
I'm intrigued by sail. Apparently sail has very little engine braking. Oh, it really does.
I enjoyed the modes an awful lot actually. They work really, really, really well. They've been very well considered. For me, I would probably just play between dynamic and eco mode, because eco mode still has enough power for you. But it is truly pleasing to put it in dynamic mode and just give it the beans. All of that weight means that it puts it down really quickly. It doesn't have any kind of drama to it. There's no wheel spin. It just shoots off. When I say shoots, it glides, really. Glides. Wafts. Doesn't waft like that, it wafts like this.
Oh my life, that never gets old. It does not get old. Are you enjoying the ride down there? It's quite bumpy for you, isn't it?
So if it runs out of power quickly, how quickly can you recharge it? 4 hours is what they claim. It's not awful, but it's obviously not as fast as simply putting fuel in a petrol-powered engine. That really will put off a lot of people, and if it does put you off, then there's nothing I can say to convince you. It puts me off as well.
Brake on, and we're in Eco Pro mode, where we also have reverse, worth noting, which is super strange. Yeah, that's odd.
It's quite a nice little gimmick that it has a reverse gear actually. You can stick it in your reverse mode, and I've seen people use that to actually reverse and try and balance. I wouldn't recommend that probably, because if you're not used to it then you might fall off. But it is quite useful. I mean, if you park on a hill, you can move it back. It's a heavy beast. It really does carry some weight to it. So to help out with that weight, if you're trying to park it up, you've got reverse assist. It's hard to get it in there actually though. Hello. You press the button and you're not sure if it's gone into reverse gear. I did find myself playing with the throttle quite a lot. There is quite a fun thing as well actually, that if I say fun, it's not fun, it's useful, that if the side stand is down, the engine won't come on. I would say, go further with that. I just think there has to be something as far as theft prevention goes that you can do to electronically lock, or just somehow lock that rear wheel. And if you could lock both, even better, because people can't roll it away. The only thing they can do then is lift it, and you know what, with something this heavy, they're gonna need a few guys.
Congestion zone, no problem for me. I'm an electric vehicle, yay! Another massive benefit to electric is that every government wants you to start using it a little bit more, but they offer incentives like not charging you the earth to use your vehicle in the city. That's always what I aim for. Easy does it, easy does it, easy does it.
So how much does it cost, I hear you ask? Well, it costs £12,350. But wait, there is an incentive that you get money back or money off your purchase when you go for this thing. So it's actually £10,850 because you get a reimbursement of some kind because it's an electric vehicle and it's good for the environment. Lovely. The benefit really is that it won't cost you an awful lot to run. All you're going to change there are tyres when they eventually wear out, your brake fluid, and that is it. Literally. Well, you pay the fuel, but obviously that's done through energy, through your electric bill, which, you know, depends how much you're paying for energy. I would say probably look into your energy provider before you buy this.
It is a vehicle in context. It's an electric scooter slash bike, 2 wheels, call it what you want, in a city, the setting it was designed for, on a really nice day, the sort of day that riding was invented for. I'm really happy.
And so, the big question, would I buy a C Evolution? And the answer is, nah, I wouldn't. Nope. It doesn't suit me. It's perfectly fine if all I wanted to do was commute. But I want a bike with a little bit more versatility than this offers, and certainly more range. It's a big point, and I'm going to be a broken record on that. I'm sure other people have said the exact same thing. But I know it's what puts off a lot of you as well. That and the fact that it's a scooter, I'm assuming. So pride is putting you off this. If we're talking practicality and the fact that it's fun, do not overlook the fact that it's fun. If you don't believe me, try it. Don't just say that it's awful when you haven't sat on the thing. Be honest with yourself and say that the reason you wouldn't own a scooter in a city is pride. Because you want something a little bit quirky, a little bit different. Something that's nicer to look at and that you get compliments for. Well, you know what? I got more compliments on this than I have on a lot of the other stuff that I've ridden in London. So before anyone dismisses it, just give it a go. Having said that, whilst it's a really fun toy, I still wouldn't own one. Let me explain. The reason I wouldn't buy this bike is the same reason that I don't just jump out and buy the first thing. Because the first in the series often has a lot of improvement to make. They're testing the water with it, and that's fine. They've got the money to do that. If they want to test it and see if this is viable for the future, brilliant. I can't wait to see what this builds up to, but this is not that. It feels like the sort of thing that you would be renting. Electric technology is far too commonly thought of as disposable. Most of us don't even know what to do when disposing of batteries or electric tech. So I just don't see the resale in these things. I think that's the difference here. It's a paradigm shift. It's about renting, not owning. Is that a bad thing? No, it's just an adjustment. But when you rent, how much of a personal connection can you really have with it? Honestly, it's just a practical tool. In that regard, this vehicle in particular comes across as a little bit soulless. I think that is my biggest criticism. It's impressive, it's exciting, it feels fresh and exhilarating, but it doesn't feel like it's got a soul.
Obviously this was not the best place to put a camera, because now I can't actually see the screen. But you know, you adapt. Improvise, adapt and overcome. Is that what Bear Grylls says? Something to that effect.
Now you might think that I've been overly harsh and overly critical of the C Evolution, or that I didn't like it. And you couldn't be further from the truth. I love this bike, it was really good fun. It shows a lot of promise. It shows where the technology might lead in the future. And absolutely is the direction they're going to go in. BMW already have 2 electric cars in production and 1 electric scooter. There is absolutely no way on this earth that they aren't already developing an electric motorbike. And with this as their starting point, I have to say, I'm very excited for the future. Can't wait to see it.
See, another one looking at me. Everyone drinking it in.
Thank you very much for watching. If you were at all frustrated with the fact that this is a scooter, then I apologise wholeheartedly. Don't worry, I'm not going to focus on them too much. It was just a bit of diversification, and it was a bike that interested me. It intrigued me. What can I say? As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to leave some comments down below if you've got any questions at all. Feel free to subscribe, to like, to do all of that fun stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ta-ra!
I've properly offshot and gone the wrong way for the mount. I'm not going to lie. I don't know.
An electric bike?
Yeah.
How's it go? It's alright.
It's alright.
How long does it last for the power?
It's supposed to be for 100 miles.
It's not like
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Quite nice though, isn't it?
It's nice, yeah.
That's a view, really.
Yeah. Brand new. There you go. What a nice guy.